I feel like I should say that this is very subjective. This is my own personal list of favorites. I do think that some of these notes are objectively just really good in that regard, but I just want to put that out there. All right, everybody. Not too long ago, I did a video on the worst notes on saxophone. Soprano, alto, tenor, bari, doesn't matter. And how to fix it. That was your open C sharp and kind of your middle D also as being just terrible notes and what you should do to fix them. However, the saxophone does have some really, really beautiful notes that stand out more than others. This is the top 5 prettiest notes on saxophone. So I have my alto and my tenor here today, so let's get to it. Coming in at number 5, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do this one on tenor because so many people want to play tenor just to play this note. And this isn't typically considered to be a very pretty note unless you play it in a very specific way. This instrument has pretty much coined its own word called foo-foo. I want to get that foo-foo sound. And that foo-foo sound is most prominently defined by the low B flat. So coming in at number 5 is low B flat. Let's do some subtones, and we're going to work our way down to that low B flat, which is beautiful. Let's do it. The low B flat is generally the first note that we learn when we want to start practicing our tone development. We learn the overtones of what is essentially the entire tube, the full length of the saxophone tube, which helps us to develop our tone. I think that this is only partly true because there's so many other things that you can do, but there's no denying that low B flat. I've ranked that at number 5 because very often when we play a low B flat, it's this. Which to me is still a beautiful note, which is why it's on this list. All right, let's move on to number 4. Coming in at number 4, ladies and gentlemen, we got middle E. Whenever you are playing an alto saxophone, that middle E just bangs. I don't know what it is about it. I think it's the way that note's wave sits inside the saxophone and its harmonics. I think they're just in a location that allows for just a more efficient resonance. But this note is amazing. I've also noticed that this is something that's a little more particular to alto. With tenor, it's there, but on alto, it just boom, let's do it. You want to be careful when you're playing saxophone because certain notes, specifically the notes that I'm showing you in this video, they resonate very well in the saxophone, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are in tune. Generally, from middle D up to your middle F sharp, these notes will generally tend to be sharp, and oftentimes they will resonate best when they are slightly out of tune. So you want to make sure that you are listening not just to yourself, not just to that timbre that you get when you play these beautiful notes, but you are listening to what's going on around you and playing in tune. Because playing in tune is more important than that beautiful magic that we get when we play these notes. Okay, so we're going to move back to tenor here, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to move to our G, the low G and the high G. Now, I've played many saxophones in my day, And sometimes that G can be a little low in the lower register. So just getting that thing worked out can be a little bit of a challenge, but I think that because it sits so well in the middle of the saxophone, you get a special kind of resonance when you play it. That G is also something of a troublesome note on tenor. So generally, if you spend a lot of time making sure that that note doesn't crack, you wind up refining its tone and just making it sound more beautiful than you would if it hadn't been a problem. I think it's a little better on tenor, but it's a lot more stable on alto. So let's hear that G in the low and the high register. Ladies and gentlemen, I do have merchandise. You can pick this up on Amazon. This one isn't mine personally, but I'll put a link in the description under the Amazon section for this. I love this thing. It's just a really nice saxophone mug here. So I want to show you guys this thing also. I picked up this light here, oscillating saxophone light. This thing is very cool. If you pick up one of these, you gotta like hold the on button and then it'll go into oscillation mode. Otherwise, it'll just stay one color. Okay, so for my alto, this is my Allora 580 Chicago Alto Saxophone. I'm using this Van Doren Green Box number 2 reed with the Van Doren A6S Plus mouthpiece with this compass ligature. I'll post a link for all this stuff. I do have an affiliate link with Woodwind Brasswind, so if you're interested in any of this stuff, you can check that link down there and see what you like. Okay, also for this video, I've decided to stay away from the Altissimo register. I'm just talking about like the main notes of the saxophone. But coming in at number 2, ladies and gentlemen, this note is what I like to call top dead center. I'm going to do this on alto, even though I think it rings a little better on tenor in the upper register. But this note is really, really stable, and it is your B natural, specifically your high B natural. Just boom. This note is very stable. It's right before you get to the cross fingering at the top of the saxophone. The overtones that are produced with it, I think, sit in a really, really good place on the saxophone. I think this is a really solid note in both the middle and the high register. I'm going to do this on alto because it just cuts like a knife, and it's really beautiful on tenor also. Let's hear it. There's a lot going on with that note. I can hear just different timbres. It's like I can hear the way the note comes out from the tone holes of the saxophone. It gives us a lot to work with when we are doing our long tones to develop our tone and our own personal sound. You need to be able to listen deeper within to understand what actually makes the sound what it is, which is essentially the overtones. Let's do that same thing on tenor. Beautiful, just beautiful. Teespring is now spring, but it's irrelevant because I've pretty much almost completely shut it down. So if you go there, just wait until I get the other thing going, if you want to pick up some other physical merchandise and whatnot. But I'm moving all that stuff over. My Altissimo books are available on PayHip. I have switched that stuff over already. I also have my All Things Diminished book for all instruments. That's also available as a digital purchase. Okay, let's move on to number 1. Coming in at number 1, ladies and gentlemen, is middle F sharp. This note sits in the most perfect way a note can sit in a saxophone. I think however long that wavelength is, the meat of it just sits at a part that allows all the pieces of the saxophone to help radiate that note the most efficiently than any other note on a saxophone, including low B flat and all the other ones. So I can almost always pick that note out when a saxophonist is playing it, whether you're playing a B flat tenor, a C tenor, mezzo, soprano, alto, doesn't matter, bari, whatever. That note just rings differently. It has a different kind of resonance to it. One thing I like to do when I'm playing that note longer is I will either add the E flat key to change that timbre a little bit, or, and this works more on tenor than it does on alto, but I'll play this on alto also. Instead of playing it 1, 2, 3, and 5, I will play 6. Like I said earlier, the notes in that range will tend to want to push sharp, and using 6 makes it a little bit more sharp. But be careful, adjust with your embouchure, relax your embouchure, don't constrict that note. Please do not constrict that note. Relax with your embouchure. You can bring that pitch down and really get that resonance to just swell. To me, it sounds like the note interferes with itself and resonates outward with this just beautiful tone. But 1, 2, 3, and 6 sounds more open to me. All right, let's do this on alto. Riggs, I'm too old for this. Okay, here's 6. These are the notes that I warm up on, that I practice on. I spend more time on those notes than any other notes. When I'm doing my warm-ups, when I'm breaking in my reeds, those are the notes that I focus on more than any of the others. Now, I do want to say something about middle E flat. That one is also a personal favorite of mine. I do like middle D. I know that's a very stuffy note. However, I have played some mouthpieces where the middle D was just absolutely spectacular, and that middle D was actually one of the top 5 with that mouthpiece. Specifically on tenor, it was the metal Yanagisawa mouthpiece. I'll play a little clip for that. And also the Theo Wanne Mantra mouthpiece, where I play the middle D, and that thing was just, I can hear all that color. And I think the reason why is because those mouthpieces actually accentuated harmonics within the overtones more than others, and it just brought out that resonance in that particular part of the horn. But in general, with most mouthpieces playing that note, it's a bit stuffy. Really nice middle D. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for you. Stay tuned. And of course, I'm working on my saxophone tone development book. I've been hard at work putting in like 12 hours a day on this thing. I haven't forgot about it. Just a bunch of stuff has come up that's gotten away, but I'm just cracking down on this thing hard, son. Okay, that's all I got for you. Thanks for tuning in. See ya!